all comes down to this, a four-way fight for a championship. Four drivers have outlasted the best of the rest, qualified their way through the trials of the playoff format, avoiding elimination until tonight. For three competitors, a night of racing at Nashville will end with no more fanfare than any other. But for one, it'll be the sweet symphony of victory in Music City. This is the Area Cup Series season finale, round 17 of 17, 130 laps to decide it all at Nashville Superspeedway. Hi everybody, Kyle Heyer, joined by Finian DeCuna, Hunter Slappy, and Eric Wyman down in the pits. Finian, welcome aboard. This is it, the season finale for the Area Cup Series at Nashville.
Yeah, absolutely cannot wait for these guys to get down on track and to really see who's the best of the best this season. We've found the four best guys so far, and they're going to be duking it all out with everything on the line for that championship.
Indeed, they will. Bumpers will be used. Tempers will be flaring for some. By the end of the day, we'll crown the champion here in Nashville Superspeedway. Been a great race from a season ago. Had three drivers going at it for the first win and a chaotic finish on the last lap. Hoping to see that replicate again here tonight as we're looking at the temperature. High 80s, going to be slick on the track, especially under the lights here at Nashville. Yes, this is a night race, not a day race. You'll see the nights are lit underneath Nashville Superspeedway.
Absolutely, Hunter, and you say slick, but it is a concrete racetrack. This thing's going to be gripped up with these lower temperatures. I mean, usually these guys visit Nashville in the summertime, usually around the July time, where the track temperature can reach up over 120 or 130 degrees. But tonight, 89. These guys are going to have a lot of grip. We're going to see some tire fall off, guys. But Kyle, man, great to be back in Nashville. The races last year in area provided so much entertainment, and I'm excited to see what Championship 4 have in store tonight.
It's going to be a thrilling night of action. Four competitors going for it all. They are lit up in blue on the timing and scoring. Ryan Hart's in the number 3, Michael Curhan in the number 24, Jake Nichols in the number 91, and Ricky Springer on screen in the number 18. Those are your four playoff competitors. In Finian, it's slick out there. We see Ricky Springer going for a slide, but everybody knows that the 91 is the car to beat tonight, as he was last season.
Oh yeah, definitely he is the man to beat tonight, and I think all the three drivers, of course, know that coming into tonight. I think they're going to be looking for that 91 to make a mistake or potentially force that 91 into a mistake. Here to see what those other three have playing, Hartz, Curran, and Springer, because you can argue that all of them are on the back foot going in with that 91 out on the track.
Indeed, and he got 8th in the race here this season going. That 22 of Dom DeLeo was actually the winner in a chaotic finish with Nick Johnson and Garrett Grant on the last lap. However, Jake Nichols does enter as the favorites, got 8 wins, 12 top 5s, 14 top 10s. The most poles out of all the Championship 4 drivers with 4. Most everything of all the Championship 4 drivers. 760 laps led, the most out of anyone in the series. And he has an average finish of 4th here at Nashville, where, however, we see Ryan Hartz is at the top of the board in the practice session, a little over 2 minutes remaining.
I mean, how can you not bet against the 91 right now, guys? Listen, his last 7 starts, 10th, 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 1st, 19th, 5th. I mean, look, the only blemish there is the 19th at Auto Club, and I believe he got caught up in some damage or something in that race. So, Kyle, my chips are, I'll call it right now. My chips are in on the 91 here. I know we aren't in Vegas, but I'm pushing all in on this one.
The 91 was leading in turn 4 at Auto Club, and he ended up turned into the outside wall. So even there, he almost got a victory to add to his season total. He has been on top of the world this season, as he has in seasons past. But tonight, he's got some drivers that have had luck go their way a couple of times. Michael Curran in the 24. But Finian, one guy who's made his own luck, Ricky Springer in this 18. He had a disastrous season outside of his first win at Atlanta way back in October. And then, once he started winning again, he just didn't stop. He's had some phenomenal finishes since then and has moved on into this round, the final one. All he's got to do is beat the other 3 drivers in the playoffs.
Yeah, honestly, it's kind of amazing. The rest of the season compared to the last 5 races, his worst finish was 12th, and that was last week at Richmond. Other than that, finished 2nd, 6th, 1st, and 1st in his last 5 starts. So he has been on a hot streak, and I think he's going to try to see if he can keep that hot streak going coming here to tonight. And then we also have to talk about, too, Ryan Hartz in the 3, talking about Richmond last week's winner at Richmond. Finally got a win just before this final race of the season. He's been so quick. The wins column doesn't really reflect that, but he's been so close to getting the victory many times, and he's also been behind that 91 many times. Guys, what do we think is he going to do when push comes to shove, what's Ryan Hart's going to do in the 3? Is he going to finally do a shove?
I would like to see a shove be done.
Having known him, because I used to race console leagues on Xbox with Ryan Hartz. Once upon a time, named You Lost AD3. You can definitely tell who he is a fan of in the NASCAR Cup Series. But Ryan's always been the methodical racer, guys. He knows where to position himself to put himself at minimal risk in the best position to move forward. But you guys already mentioned it. He's got to get out of his comfort zone. He's got to take that step. He's got to move Jake out of the way tonight. You can't just follow him. Nashville, such a one-lane track on the bottom tonight, guys, that Ryan's going to have to do something. I don't know if he can do it on pure pace. His pace is better in practice right now, but I just don't know if that is going to be the case later on.
We'll find out what qualifying holds for us. We're going to turn Eric Wineland back to pit lane. Eric, we'll see you a little bit later. Thanks for chatting with us now. As we head back to the racetrack, though, before we get into qualifying, we'd like to take a moment. This is February 20th, 2023, which is a significant date in SimTV history. You'll have to look back 5 years to find the first SimTV broadcast. And Finian DeCuna and myself, Kyle Heyer, we have had a wild 5 years. And I told you before the broadcast, Finian, that this perhaps a great way to end the season for area, but for us, this has snuck up on us so quickly that I almost feel like we're not celebrating enough because it's come and gone so quick.
Oh, absolutely. It's gone by extremely quick. I mean, 2,500 subscribers after 5 years. I mean, in the sim racing sphere, I think that's pretty good, especially for broadcasters, because we literally came from nowhere, had zero experience in any broadcasting capacity or streaming capacity, came out of nowhere, kind of worked for 5 years, and I think we've come quite a long ways to be proud of ourselves as far as it comes to streaming and broadcasting.
Well, the subscriber count is one thing. Over the 5 years we've been producing broadcasts, just on the main channel, 210,000 views, and many, many, many times more that on client work for Porsche Canada, GT World Challenge America, and places of the sort. On Facebook earlier, we uploaded an image with all of the different groups that we've worked for, area included, and it has been a phenomenal 5 years working with dozens of groups and making a community around it. So really exciting. Thanks for being with us here. 5 years of broadcasting. What a mark to hit, and we still got a lot left to go. So car's on track now. It's time to get down to business, as we always do, Finian, but what a crazy, crazy year.
Indeed, what a crazy, crazy year. And let's see how this year, at least for this league, how this season for the Cup Series, how it's going to end. We'll see who's going to be starting on pole for this final race. A lot of non-playoff drivers have put a time down. Here comes the 24, Michael Curran out of turn 4 to come across the line.
Really haven't talked about Michael Curran too much this season. Got that breakthrough win at Auto Club that locked himself in to the Championship 4 in the chaotic fashion that he got it in, but how he got into the postseason really is all consistency. He's got 4 top 5s, 8 top 10s. It's only led 24 laps, but we mentioned the consistency in his finishes. The second lowest amongst those in the Championship 4, and that's at 10.8. So he's got a better average finish than Ryan Hartz. That just goes to show consistency does pay off, especially when it's crunch time of the postseason. And the Curran, top of the board, 30.06.
He won for the number 24 as we're waiting for the other playoff competitors. Ricky Springer's on track. Remember that the Championship 4 are in the blue on the left-hand side of your screen. That's Michael Curhan, Jake Nichols, Ricky Springer, and Ryan Hartz. The red competitors, those are just drivers trying to settle out their own season positions, but not competing for the championship. Here's Ricky Springer out of turn 4, kicking off his lap, finishing a couple of wins this season. As you mentioned earlier, the last couple of races he has been on it, but he's going to need to be on it as much as he has ever been to beat that 91 car tonight. That's the one that everybody has circled as the car to beat.
Yeah, I mean, especially looking at the fact, when you take a look at the wins column, 3 wins. He's the only driver to have more than 1 win a season other than Jake Nichols with 8 wins to his name. So we'll see what Springer's going to do here, riding high in 3 and 4. I think going to just discard the first lap, going to focus on lap number 2 here.
Will be a good lap to get dialed in as we still wait Jake Nichols and Ryan Hartz to go out for their lap times. However, do have to look at Garrett Grant and Dom DeLeo. Mentioned those two were going at her for the win of the season ago, and it looks like they have solid qualifying efforts for now. although only 10 drivers have gone up. Mentioned rookie Springer going at it on lap 2. Going to be the money lap here if he can put this baby on the front row.
Out of turn 4, here comes the number 18 of Ricky Springer. Kurhan is on provisional pole. Can Springer go quicker at a 30.044? Yes, he will. Top of the board for the 18 of Ricky Springer. P1 for now, as the 3 of Ryan Hartz goes 11th quick on lap 1, but Finian lap 2 is the one that counts.
Yeah, and we'll see here what he's going to do here on lap number 2, coming across the line down below the apron. Can he beat Springer and Curran as he comes flying across? And indeed he will pull for the number 3, but of course all 3 of them are waiting for the Titan himself to get out on the track.
And Jake Nichols had a lap time of a 30.03 in practice, the fastest amongst everyone in the field. Halfway done qualifying, 91 is yet to take the racetrack. Well, till now, here he goes.
Big moment here because the top 3 positions, it's always funny how the cream rises to the top like this at the tail end of a season when you happen to get, I mean, all the circumstances that lead to this, whether it's drivers getting crashed out or getting lucky or just having flat good runs, all 4 drivers have gotten here very different ways. I think that's fair to say. And for 3 of the 4, and maybe the four, actually almost certainly 4 of the 4, to be in the top 4 spots in qualifying, that is very, very impressive. But here comes Jake Nichols out of turn 4 to start his qualifying laps, and Finian, those 3 are holding their breath that he'll have to pass more cars than just them come the green flag.
Oh yeah, it actually was funny because Jake Nichols, he waited exactly until Ryan Hartz came across the line to then finally get on the track, waiting to see what his competitors were doing, what they were able to put down, and then now he finally knows the benchmark he needs to beat. The number 3 currently sitting on top on pole position. Here's see if he's going to actually, it looks like he's actually going to the inside in 3 and 4, so he's going to try on both laps.
And not to mention, look how much quicker they are than the rest of the competition. The highest amongst those, not chasing for a championship, Doug Newbigging. He just took over 4th out of 30.1, and everyone else is out of 30.0. They're running near 30 flats, and lap 1 for Jake Nichols, 30.17. See if he can best that for lap 2.
Well, if he can go quicker, it's not going to change that the top 4 are still the top 4 spots in qualifying, but it could start him on pole where he can just drive away and not have to pass those other 3. Out of turn 4, Jake Nichols trying to accumulate one more win on his season of wins, trying to double up on the championships across the line. Needs a 30.043, 30.054. It is quicker. It'll put him 3rd, but Ryan Hart still hangs on to provisional pole. We're not quite done yet qualifying, but I think it's safe to say that the juggernauts of the series have laid down their laps.
And how about that? The entire top 4, our championship 4, are all covered by 200ths of a second. That is a really, really low margin. Almost looks like this is completely fixed, which I just want to state for the people at home, it is not. But it definitely looks like it is because the top 4, all near the top, all really close together. I cannot wait for this race to get underway.
And it looks like it's going to stay that way, Hunter, unless James Scioli or Weishart can get up in the mix. It looks like those top 4 will remain the top 4 here in qualifying.
I was going to say, Jacob Bell told me that the script said for the top 4 to be championship 4 in qualifying. But David Weishart talked to him a little bit before we went live. He said that the car, it's just there. Like, it's not tight, it's not loose, it's just there. He really can't get a feel for it. Then he said that it was plowing tight in the corner and then loose on corner exit. And you mentioned it earlier, that before we went live, actually, that bump in turn 4, if you hit that bump the wrong way, it's going to spin your car out. He said that's something that drivers have to keep an eye on.